Can you combine superhero comics filled with action and fun with Bible values? Is there a comic that's safe for parents but not boring for kids? The answer is yes. Alpha Red is a comic book that combines action and danger with faith-filled stories that will draw your kids in and give them some godly inspiration. Wes is your friendly neighborhood handyman who's chosen for an experiment and given superpowers that make him super strong, fast, and smart, becoming Alpha Red. He's given a super suit filled with spiritual technology to become the hero we need to stop Omega Black and his army from taking over the world. Alpha Red and his kingdom allies must save the world by making sure Satan and his demons can't use their army of transforming robot tanks to teleport all over the world and destroy every major city on Earth. Starting November 17th, you can pre-order Alpha Red Volume 1, which collects Alpha Red issues 1 through 5. This will ship in time for Christmas, so don't miss out on the comic where the Bible meets the battle. Super stories for super kids. Alpha Red. Go to shopalphared.com starting November 17th to bring home an adventure you can believe in. What's going on, friends? James Nguyen here with the Alpha Red Comic Channel. It is Friday, not Sunday, but it is Friday. So instead of ending the weekend with me, we're going to kick it off Friday night in style with Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles and another Brother Benny commission. That's awesome. I appreciate Brother Benny for supporting Alpha Red and all that I do to make more family-friendly, faith-based comics and make them look as cool as I can. So thank you for joining me on this Friday night. So hopefully we'll pick up some other people. What do you think? What do you think, guys? So we got to keep it interesting. Keep me talking. Keep the questions rolling in. I don't mind. I'm going to turn on our mood music. Say hello to my friends in the chat. The Alpha Red buddies. Benny in the house. Always number one. He's definitely taken the mantle away from Fong. Fong is busy doing ministry work, always driving in between Bible studies or something. But the main event, ladies and gentlemen, you gotta kick it up a notch. I'll try to kick it up. What's going on, Brother Benny? Thank you for being here. Jay Scott in the house. That's right, Benny. You are correct, Jay Scott. That is going to be another Brother Benny special. It is indeed. Reverend Saber in the house. Hey. What's going on, brother? What's up, James? Friday is live. That's right. And we got somebody new to the chat. What's going on, Evangeline Lourdes? Thank you for joining us. This is where we draw pictures and we talk about comics and we talk about whatever you want to talk about. You just say it in the chat and I peek up and then we chat about it. But the thing I want to bring to your attention first is this guy. Starting Monday at noon, that is Monday the 17th at noon, I'm going to be fundraising for Alpha Red Volume 1. That is the collection of Alpha Red numbers 1 through 5. It is up to number 7, but this is why I want to show you first. There is one early bird special. So for $20, you can get the trade paperback. That is only going to be good for 36 hours, and you can get as many as you want. So I show you in here how you do it. There's no button that you can keep hitting that saves you from like multiple shipping fees. So if you just hit 1, if you want 2, you just hit 1, and then you go in and donate another 20 to save yourself the $10 in shipping. So. But we got some cool stuff here. Cool stuff. I hope you will join me on Monday at noon for the kickoff. And it is a second printing. So it has been available before. Let me remove that. I'm going to switch it to stop the screen. We are going to switch it to, what do I want? Window. And I will show you what is on the drawing board. This is the cover, smaller version, of course, the black and white version. It is in color. So if you see the campaign, you can go to shopalphared.com and you will see the cover in all its color glory. So I just wanted to bring that to your attention. And we talk about comics. We talk about what I read this week. I read Youngblood. I don't know if you guys picked up Youngblood #1. It was actually a pretty good comic. I was curious, very curious as to whether or not Rob Liefeld's hype was going to be met, and it did live up to its hype. It was a lot of action, and there's a lot of pages. He writes a little on the cheesier side, but I didn't mind it, and it's just Rob Liefeld. And I think his anatomy got a little bit better. It's not like real people anatomy, like Jim Lee anatomy, or you're not looking at Brian Hitch or anything like that, but you're definitely looking at a better version of Rob Liefeld's artwork. What else did I pick up? In the same week, I picked up Rob Liefeld. I picked up a Jim Lee, fresh Jim Lee, Batman Hush 2. It felt like I was like a teenager again, picking up Rob Liefeld and Jim Lee, and banger. I love it. I know a lot of people are hating on Hush 2, but I actually like it. It does remind me a lot of Hush the first time, except I don't know how it's going to end. I thought it was supposed to be a 6-issue series, and then so in December would be the final one, but there's so much going on. I don't know how they land the plane, honestly. But also Transformers. I picked up Transformers #26. That was also good. And boy, I don't know how they do it. I don't know if Robert Kirkman is so rich that he's not trying to make money, but there are so many pages in here. It was like it was never ending. I just felt like the story went on for days. So it was actually really good. So I was so inspired by after reading Youngblood #1, and I got the Bad Rock trading card that came in the bagged version. That I drew Bad Rock and I posted it on X, and Rob Liefeld retweeted me. So I'm in the process of coloring it. So after I color it, I'll figure out how much I want to sell it for, and it'll show up on Etsy. So jamesq.net is where my Etsy store is, jamesq.net. So if you are looking for some artwork and some fun things like that, you can find it there. And I never get a chance to draw Spider-Man, so I'm probably shouldn't share when I get to draw, but while I'm working, I'll sneak in some sketches. And I just wanted to share the work in progress of this new Spider-Man picture. So that is what is kind of on the sketchboard on the regular. And did I bury Brother Benny's sketch cover? I did. So this was all I did for a layout sketch. Okay, so we're going to try to achieve that, and I'm going to try to apply a lot of the lessons that I have been kind of taking to heart here. Well, I'm going to have to make something to keep my references handy. So what I've been learning while I've been doing these homage covers, and I've been tracing over some Jim Lee art, and what I've been noticing is how bubbly and like flexed the muscles are. So I'm going to try to achieve that right here in the sketch for tonight. So let's see if it works out. And because it's Friday, I don't have to go to work tomorrow. So we'll see if we can get a little farther than we might typically on a Sunday night, because that is always one of a few reasons why I cut it off after about an hour or an hour and a half on a Sunday. So what I want to do is, like, everything is very circly, very round, is what I've noticed from 90s 90s style art, especially with Jim Lee and Rob Liefeld. And so I want to make sure that I test the theory to see whether or not it is the roundness of the figures, of the muscles, of all the things that really kind of give us the excitement of them looking like they're fully flexed all the time. So big old round shoulder there. That's where the elbow is, so it'll come down. Round bicep, tricep, forearm, 3 fingers. And I was looking at a picture actually that Neil Gaiman drew. No, not Neil Gaiman. Neil Adams of Green Arrow, and the hand that was in the foreground was just absolutely amazing. I'm going to bring that shoulder down. You'd think I'd be more prepared here. But if I was, you'd think that you were watching somebody else. That's right. I'll try not to run to the other side of the room. So if you're new here, I appreciate you hanging out on a Friday night and giving us a shot here at the Alphabet Comic Channel, where we talk comics and we talk drawing. I create an independent comic called Alpha Red, thus the name of the channel, Alpha Red Comic. Let's see, where do I? Oh, I want his more bicep. But the Neil Adams picture of Green Arrow was the hand that was up front was so fantastic. I was like, all right, well, I have to revisit Mr. Neil Adams for his knuckles. It was just like very masculine, muscular hand, if that's possible. It has to do with like the muscle, the knuckles, and how the tendons and all that stuff kind of come out. So J. Scott says, totally right. Anytime I tell someone about hands, I tell them to look at Neil Adams. I didn't know. That's new to me. I mean, I knew that he had like a more realistic kind of style, and that's a plus and a minus. You know, like for sure it's a plus, obviously, but the minus is like sometimes it can go a little too realistic, and unless you're doing it very, very well, you miss an opportunity to just inspire the imagination of the reader, where it's just they're like flexing so hard that you're like, I know that it's impossible. They're impossibly strong and muscular, but I'm gonna try to be that strong. When I cosplay, I'm going to try to imagine that I am that flexed, that over exaggerated. Who was this? Oh yeah, this was supposed to be Donatello, and he was leaning back like this. He's got the bow up here. It's funny that the staff is also called a bow. I guess it's a bow until you bend it. Even if it's not bent, it's called a bow. Even when it is not bent. J. Scott says, I recently bought his art book. It's amazing. Still holds up today. I gotta check that out. Is it like an artist edition? Like the stuff I have behind me with Jim Lee? Is that from IDW? And is IDW the only people who do art editions? I was watching a Frank Miller interview, and he pulled out the artist edition of his Sin City, or the interviewer did anyway, and it was huge. It was easily twice the size of normal comic pages. So a comic page is 11 by 17. Let's see. All right, I'm going to show you guys the what I have done of the cover of Alpha Red number 8, and it kind of gives away like where I'm going with the story, sort of. You don't know the whole story, but this is the full size. This is what a full size piece of comic book art typically is. So it's 11 by 17, and it takes a long time to fill up this page. That's why I switched to the current size that I work is much smaller. It is, I think the drawing area, instead of 10 by 15, it's actually 7 1/4. Ooh, oh no. Huh. So 7 1/4 by 11 1/4, something like that. So it's almost the size of, well, it's a little bit bigger. So the final size of a comic is 6 3/4 by 10 1/4, something like that. So yeah, when the guy pulled out Frank Miller's artist edition, it was like jaw-droppingly big for Sin City. And Frank Miller says that he didn't realize that the original artist drew them so big. But when he found out, he had to give it a try. And the rest is history. Actually, he said Dick Giordano told him that he was spending too much time putting in all the details when all he has to do is start with the blacks, like where all the shadows are, and then you spend a lot less time on the details, and that really kind of formed the style. It was after the first one that Dick Giordano told him he should give it the old big blackout kind of shadows first. That'll be his leg over here. That's Donatello. Let's see what was actually Donatello's head was a little bit more pointed up, because that is more the Leonardo head that I'm going to do. There's a little bit more down to the side here. So do you guys have like a favorite look for the Ninja Turtles? They've had so many different iterations. I mean, from the original Eastman and Laird style, where they're more lizard looking, I don't know, reptilian lizard looking, to the cartoon is very cartoony, obviously, just kind of round and bubbly. If you saw the thumbnail, it It was just a grab of the cartoon. I'm sure you've seen that image on lunchboxes and folders and all that kind of stuff, as we did back yonder. Remember Trapper Keepers? Trapper Keepers. J. Scott says, yep, it's an artist edition. Yeah, they are pricey. So yeah, the Jim Lee one that I bought, I think was, I want to say it was like a little over $100. But you see behind me, they're like full size Jim Lee X-Men pages. Like, I'm never going to be able to afford Jim Lee X-Men pages. You're never going to be able to afford Neil Adams original pages. But holy smokes, if you don't have like giant original art sized pictures that you can hang on your wall, you can treat it like the original. Here it is. So that's what I do. I mean, I don't think I would hesitate if I had more wall space. My wife isn't as generous as Benny's wife is, allowing him to hang original art all over his man space. My wife comes up here, and this is my man space. This is my office, and this is where I keep all my. I work up here. I work, and I draw. Comics are up here. And she comes up. She goes, "You can't hang that up there. Like, it's the attic." So I hang a bunch, but I pick my fights. But unlike Benny's wife, who lets him hang whatever he wants on the wall. maybe not. He used to. I think he's limited because he's got too many of my drawings on the wall. She might be putting a stop to it. Where does his hand go? Where do I put his other hand? So this would be, we'll put this up here. So is there any other rewards that you guys would look forward to? Like I said, this is not not so much a crowdfunder. It really is just refilling my stock of trade paperbacks that ran out. It lasted about a year. I printed up 120 of them at the beginning of 2024. And it lasted about a year. 120 of them. And I had 80 normal regular covers, and then 40 of the homage covers, and I sold out of all of them. So what's different about the ones that I'm doing now is that it will not have all the extra covers and stuff. There is a deluxe digital version that will have all the covers, all the just like the deluxe digital for, well, maybe not like the deluxe digital for issue number 7, because I had the black and white and all of that stuff. But with this deluxe digital, it will have all the covers, and it will actually have the original story before I turned it into a Christian comic. So it was just your normal run-of-the-mill comic. It was supposed to be kind of a Captain America type comic. And I had been working with a writer. And it was much like me working with Ray McKay, my current writer, where I kind of come up with a story and then like the overarching story, and then he kind of breaks it down into pages, like what you should draw on each page. And then he would script, whereas I like to script Alpha Red now. And actually with issue number 8 here, it has a wrestling theme. If you didn't catch that, if you didn't catch the vibe, it has a wrestling theme. Let's do the bandana coming down here instead, because we want room for Godzilla back here. Yeah, I forget what I was saying. So he, the previous writer, I mean, well, with this current issue number 8, it was a story that Ray McKay pitched me, and he pitched it as a football game, and I asked him to convert it to a wrestling thing, because I've been to a lot of comic conventions here recently, and there's a huge crossover between comics and wrestling, and I just think it's fun that the wrestlers, the wrestling, and I like the fans of wrestling. They've kind of have an innocence, like they know that it's fake, but they like it anyway. And they're diehard. You know, they pick up all kinds of crazy stuff. Like, all right, well, hopefully I can give you something with a lot of body slamming and all that stuff. So yeah, it was $100 also, but I bought a Kickstarter Daniel Warren Johnson art of book in August. It should be coming in January. Gotcha. I have officially run out of wall space. I have to start rotating out sketch covers. Nice. He's got so much energy in his art. I love it. Nice. Speaking of the amazing, your stream on Sunday was wonderful. I went back and watched it since I was at work. Nice. I appreciate that. Appreciate you catching the old stuff. Some of your best work, sir. I appreciate that. I know the guys at Starcross appreciated it, and they actually want to turn it into a cover or something. So I said, have at it, boys. You are welcome to it. There's a sword, and we got to get Mikey in here. Mikey's going to be up here, and I don't know why I always put Mikey jumping, and he is always like a little farther back. You can see most of Mikey most of the time. All right, that sword's going to be right in his face, so let's do the sword over here. Kabamski. We got to get his knee way up to make it more dynamic. The higher you get the knees, the more dynamic you see. All right, I forgot about the circles. We're doing circles. Circles up here, circles for his shoulder, circle for the head, and He's gonna do like a Bruce Lee, like you better get back, son. And then got the hands up here yonder way. Got that. Yeah, who else? So I got the Dave Michelini Daredevil Artist Edition for Daredevil. What was it? I got this one here, Born Again. That's it. But it's not like full size, so I'm a little disappointed. It is amazing for sure. But and especially like this, where they draw it on a film and they lay it over top of like the cover. I don't know why they did it this way, because they didn't have Photoshop probably. But for them to actually have this is pretty awesome. And you can also see like where they use white out or white paint to kind of show the light coming through the windows. So just so cool. So cool. But yeah, I have that artist edition. I would like to pick up, there's a John Byrne X-Men, I want to say. And I don't know much about, I only hear how great the John Byrne X-Men is. I came to the game a little later with the Image crowd. You know, the guys who eventually went out and did Image. But all right, that is the loose. Let's see how we can get it a little bit tighter. Where's the little baggie here? Let's see if we can't use this mechanical pencil so that we can be a little bit more whatever with the lines here. Benny says the draw stream gets serious when James starts dropping the kabamskis. Kabamski. I don't know. When was the last time I said a kabamski? Maybe it's not the I don't remember. I don't think about it when I do it, to be honest. So kabamski, huh? All right. I gotta maybe watch out for it. You guys watch out. Kabamskis are on the way, because this one's gonna have to have a lot of energy. They are the Ninja Turtles. So there is like an artist combination of the old school Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles art that I liked. I'm not a huge fan of Jim Lawson, his straight up turtles when he's inking himself, but when Kevin Eastman is inking Jim Lawson, it is like fire. It's so good. It's like the way the turtles ought to be. Faux show. Coming together. Got to pick those lines, right? Start off with that energy. Got to keep it round so that it's like fully flexed. I do like how in the live action movies from the 90s, where it really kind of helped me imagine what they look like moving around. And it was not just stylized art, but like how they're like the upper shoulders and the shoulders, the upper neck and shoulders are kind of separate from the shell, like the front shell where it makes their pectorals and stuff. So in the original comics, they are very much like, it's like neck, it's like head, and then like teeny tiny neck that goes into the tippy top of the pectoral shell thing, and then the arms are like right on top of, like it's all like joined together. So you're like, are they just like, they have no necks? They're just super stocky, kind of guys. But I think since then, everybody has kind of accepted that the shell goes like the back of the shell and then it comes down to the sides. And that is how it wraps around. So you can get a little bit more dynamic with the poses when you have that kind of understanding of it. So you got to get those psi kind of evened out. So whenever I'm doing anything that is a little bit symmetrical, you want to do them like right away, the other side right away, or else I've come back sometimes and it looks really, really wonky, and it's because I did not immediately jump to the other identical side. But bam, bam. I almost did a Kabamski. I felt one coming on, but it wasn't time. It wasn't time yet. It was not time yet. Felt one coming on though. I think Kabamskis are icing on the cake, maybe. I don't know. I've not thought about it actually. So we want the size to come down, like in the original comic. The size are just these generic like 3-prong vertical things, but whenever I see size, they have like these squiggly things. They're more like the Electra size. So yeah, who else has artist editions for their art? I think Todd McFarlane has one for his Spider-Man. And I didn't realize how few Spider-Man books Todd McFarlane drew. I mean, relatively speaking. I mean, he did a couple years and that was it. And that was 30 years ago. You know, but everybody wants him to come back and do Spider-Man. I mean, I know I do. Maybe I don't say everybody, but certainly a lot of people. I want Jim Lee to do X-Men. So, like with Rob Liefeld, I think I picked it up and I liked the energy of it. I just never, like, it was not like a. I had my top two. I had Todd and I had Jim Lee. And it was mostly Jim Lee. But I don't know. Do you guys have a favorite from back then? I don't know how old you guys are and how long you've been collecting. I think Benny said you have not been collecting quite as long as me. When we were on the Can You Draw? Yeah, I just didn't have time for another segment. Drawing Benny's commissions we're just going to have to be the drawing of the week, because as much as I love drawing, it's just making time to record it, and that's just an extra step. Ooh, I can put his, there we go. We can put his arm back here like this. There we go. So if we have just have to make sure that there's no tangent here. So his size coming up here, we don't want it to just continue up into Donatello's bow. So I'm gonna have to figure out if do I want to go down here, but then I can't pull his shoulder back like that, or do I lower this? But it doesn't look as cool then. Maybe it will. We shall see. That looks cooler than the other alternative. So Knuckles. Neil Adam Knuckles. So yeah, I do have to, I mean, yeah. I'm going to put it on my list. Studying a little bit more of the master, Neil Adams. I did meet Neil Adams in Scranton, Pennsylvania, I want to say. It was an icy cold winter. I think it was called the WinterCon in 2010, I want to say. Super nice guy. He had a huge setup. Huge. He had a huge setup. It took like the whole side of the convention. Like these conventions out in Pennsylvania when I lived in Pennsylvania. They were in the gym, of a school or something like that. And so just imagine the gym of a school, like a basketball court. And he has his whole like setup was like the length of the court. And he came over, like I was setting up. I knew who he was, obviously. And he came up and like as if we didn't know who he was. Hey, my name's Neil. I was like, of course you're Neil. What in the world? Why would you? Just like, oh, you guys got great stuff here. And I had heard that he was a bit of more of a direct kind of guy. But I mean, I would have never described him that way, other than, direct in a friendly way. But I've heard him say that, he can be demanding, or not demanding, maybe really confident, or what's the word I'm looking for? Just assertive, with kind of an understanding of like that he is the talent. So but I would have never said that about him. He just came up extremely friendly, like outgoingly friendly. And so very grateful to have met him. Met Jim Shooter before he died. Met him in Hershey last year, 2024 in Hershey. He passed away this year, I believe. I don't know if he would have come back for the Hershey convention, but when I went to the Hershey convention this year, everybody was kind of talking about how grateful they were that they were able to meet him the year before. For show. Let me see. J. Scott says, I have 11 by 17 work in progress trade paperback Absolute Batman. Wow. They I didn't realize that they were going to do a 11 by 17. Nice. It's pretty cool. Frank Cho does a Wednesday draw every week, and he talks about Neil Adams and his master of hands work. Yep. Maybe I can see that. I can see Frank Cho having some Neil Adams influence. I can see that. I can. Not like directly on everything. Frank Cho has his own style for sure. All right. We'll make his bandana come out this way. Kabamski. Hey, it just came out. Kabamski. It's getting serious. Things are getting serious. Things are getting serious, apparently. Got this belt in there somewhere. Get the Kabamskis going. We got his knuckles out here. Yeah, I'll have to check out Mr. Frank Cho's draw stream. I must. I didn't realize he did one. There was Dave Finch used to do, they weren't draw streams. Maybe they were. I think he started doing draw streams, but he would invite a guest on and they would sit there and draw. And I had always meant to check it out, but I never did. And I don't know if he still does it. I mean, my schedule is, I try to prioritize Alpha Red. So I don't consume as much entertainment as I wish I could, because there's so much good stuff out there. But some of us must create. Yeah, I'm so torn with all the opportunities that I have. There are a lot of people who ask me to draw things, and as much as I would love to draw it all, I don't have the time. I feel bad because I like these people, and they think that my artwork is worthy of their project, and I want to help them. And it's always kind of fun to draw somebody else's characters. Let me see. But he says, I would have loved to meet Jim Shooter. He was at a con in Rochester a few years ago, but I missed him. Ah, man. Yeah, these older guys, I guess you gotta just jump on it, or else you miss them. Like Jim Starlin was at the Hershey Comic Con this year, and I walked by him, and I should have said hi, but I'm not a huge, not Jim Starlin, not Steranko, Jim Steranko. I'm not a huge Steranko fan. I much respect, but I don't own any Steranko stuff, and I respect for his place in comics history. But Jay Scott says, yeah, Daniel Warren Johnson does a Friday draw stream. Don't worry, I will rock it with you, James. Watch Dan later. Yeah. No, I appreciate that, bro. So I gotta maybe check his out too. So what kind of stuff does he draw? Is it just like his stuff? Does he draw like stuff on the fly, or is he doing Benny Decker commissions? Like what's his what's his flavor of stuff that he draws? Like, cause that is, when I started this channel, I just assumed that I'd just be drawing pages of Alpha Red or Alpha Red sketches or whatever, and just all Alpha Red all the time. And it got even boring for me. So I couldn't imagine somebody else trying to watch. Like how interesting would it be to watch someone draw a character that you have never seen before every week, all the time, every time you see them. They're just drawing this one character that nobody knows anything about. I mean, maybe eventually you get your an audience for that, but one day, someday, one day maybe, but not today. Not today. Keep these muscles round. Let's extend his hand up just a little bit more. Put a nunchuck in there. But yeah, it's turning out pretty good. And this was unintentionally the Wolverine pose from X-Men #1. That just came out. Just because I guess because I have recently been kind of drawing it. Actually, it's not exactly. Okay, I feel better. I feel better that it wasn't just in my subconscious that I'm just drawing all the poses that I've ever seen in my life from Jim Lee and stuff. Which there's nothing wrong with that, I don't think. You know, I've been listening to Rob Liefeld enough to, and he brings out the receipts. He shows you where Frank Miller was taken from Gil Kane, and you know, there's nothing new under the sun. Maybe some of those guys deserve a little bit more flowers than others for being first, but you know, you just don't know. You just do it, and you are inspired, and you will inspire other people. So who cares who inspired you? Not who cares, but like if you tell people, I tell people all the time, I am very influenced by Jim Lee's artwork. Jim Lee, Joe Madureira. So, all right, let's see what Kochiro. See what I can do with Godzilla down here. I do have a picture off to the side on my screen that I can use as far as Kochiro goes. Like, there's so many iterations of Godzilla also. So it's like, can you do no wrong? You know, you have this giant dinosaur thing that shoots blue laser thing out of his mouth, and that is all you need for it to kind of be Kochiro. Or is there only so far that you can take artistic license on his design there? So we'll do lots of bumpies. It seems as though like his the spikes on his back kind of specific. I don't know if that's true or not, but it seems like in a lot of the iterations they are similar. So we shall see here. Jessica says his stuff is a lot of commissions. See, that's where we find the time. That's where we find the time. Also, I don't have to try to watch you and football while I work anymore. This works much better. Very good, very good. I'm glad it works out. It works out for my family too. Jessica says also I don't have. Okay. Okay. Looks like you posted it twice, or it just popped up twice. Nice. Yeah. My wife. Maybe I'll tell my wife that. I'll say now we'll have time to watch football for family night, because that is the reason why I switched it. So because my son did not work on Fridays, and so we always had family night on Fridays. So Sunday was a good day for all of us. But because he works on Fridays now, for the foreseeable future, probably at least 2 months, they're going to put them on Fridays. So, so we will be doing Fridays, maybe through the football season. How about you, Jay Scott? Come on, through football season. That's all. All right. So he doesn't have like real sharp teeth. There's one version where he has like kind of like fangs, and it didn't look quite right to me. But hey, I'm not in charge of Godzilla. But yeah, like an angry. You gotta get the furrowed brow is kind of typical. Yeah, he's got lots of texture. He's got big man boobs. Like some of them are like he's got a triple man boob. He got like a Total Recall chest action. You know what I'm saying? Like there's like a middle man boob. Like what is going on? All right, maybe he's got a shoulder over there. He's got the steroid muscles here too. All right. I think we're ready. Ready. Hopefully I don't mess it up with by running my hands over top of it here. Let me snap a quick pic of the pencil action. What do you think so far, Benny? Let's see. Fun. All right. We'll do the old V5 precision rolling ball from Pilot. I got to tell you, it really has kind of revitalized my love for inking and drawing. It is a pen that I used very early on, and the frustration really was that I would put my hand in it and it would ruin the picture because it would create a pattern like I'm stamping the ink all over. But now that I'm a more mature artist, I can just throw down this extra sheet of paper, as I never did, and I can worry about that less. Sometimes you don't know where your hand is going, and then it ends up dunking into a big juicy puddle of ink. But yes, sir. Yeah, so I don't know where I come up with my version of Ninja Turtles. They're definitely kind of live action movie, and like gosh, I wish I knew more of how it was published. My younger brother and I shared a set of Ninja Turtle trade paperbacks, and I think they were mostly drawn by Eastman and inked by Laird, and that was the combo that I liked the best, I think. And I believe that Jim Lawson came in towards the end there, and so my turtles are a mix of that era and the movie from the 90s. Benny says, what does Benny say? Benny says, I'm liking the Friday change too. All right. As always, your layouts look way better than I imagined it would be. That's awesome. That's awesome. I appreciate it. I appreciate it, bro. Yeah, I was kind of worried about this. There's lots of characters. And I was like, really, how do you get maximum Godzilla in there? His size really messes up the composition of a lot of things. So like you have to, you know, they're all just kind of going in the same direction. I don't know if that's how it will go. I don't know if they fight each other, but this makes it a little bit easier for me to put him way, way back there. They're not trying to run at him, or else all you would see are the backs of all the turtles. And yeah. I did. I was just sitting on a call, and I was like, all right, that's got to be the composition where you see a bunch of them up closer. Up closer. And hopefully, I'm not going to rush it, Benny. I am going to, we'll go to about 9:30. If it's not close enough to being done, then I'll just hit a pause on it and then either finish it off without being on with the camera on, or I'll turn it on tomorrow morning sometime. I think I'm pretty free as far as chores around the house. Finished up a pretty big project last week, I want to say, last weekend. So I think I'm off the hook for a little bit. I've been a good boy. Been a good boy. Been a good boy. I will be celebrating my 25th wedding anniversary on Tuesday. And we were going to, I was trying to book us a hotel room where we had our reception. It's like 3 or 4 hours away from where we live now. And it just didn't work out. The kids have some things that we need to be around for. And I have a business. I was asked to go to a business meeting that I don't know why I'm going. To be honest, they just want more bodies there. And I do know why I'm going, but I will not have anything to do with this new account if we get the opportunity to write it. I do a fairly large account that is loosely connected to the account that they're pitching tomorrow. I mean, Monday evening. So they asked me to be there so that they can ask me a bunch of questions about the group that we have, the group of customers that we have that I take care of. But that will put off the celebration of our 25th anniversary. So for my in-laws' 25th anniversary, my wife threw them a party while she was in college. She was organizing behind the scenes for all of my in-laws, like college friends and acquaintances, to come to celebrate their 25th wedding anniversary. And so I asked my kids, I said, So what are you guys doing for us for our 25th anniversary? Nothing. You told us not to. Like, really? My wife is a unique woman. She thinks that way. My daughter is more like me. Like, if you want me to do something, tell me, and I'll do it. I'll do it really good. But I'm not making stuff up to do. Except for comics. I do comics. And drawing. I'll sit there and draw a Spider-Man while I'm on a business conversation. But outside of comic-related things, if you want me to do something, you have to be pretty direct. Got to be pretty direct. And I'm happy to do it. I'm not trying to help people. Just need to be told. Just need to be told. Let's do. So I don't know if you guys like Joe Madureira, but he did an interview with some guys on YouTube. I think that channel's called Inked Up. And they're all like former comic book artists or current comic book artists. And they happen to have Joe Madureira on there. Just so interesting how interesting his rise was to stardom, how effortless it seemed. If you are a fan of Joe Madureira, I would recommend that. And he's like, it seems like he's unaware of how influential he is. I think he hears what we say about him, but yeah, I was 100% like super fan for sure. Yeah, so I'll have to check out Daniel Warren Johnson's stream to see if I can't get some advice, get some tips. I don't know how many do a lot of people watch his stuff. I mean, he's obviously a big name, and he's a growing name. So I assume that just because he does it doesn't necessarily mean it's going to work for me. But if he has topics that he's talking about, or if he's like, talking about technique, or I don't know what he does, it'd be interesting. I'd be interested to know how to improve the Friday night draw stream. Not Sunday night draw stream, the Friday night draw stream. So are you guys into wrestling? Wrestling? Is that a thing that, that was part of the draw for me, was how much wrestling Daniel Warren Johnson was putting into comics and how people were reacting to it and how fun it was to see those wrestling moves in the comics. So but really it was their fans who would come up, and they would kind of look through my stuff, and I said, what do you like to collect? Oh, I don't, just anything wrestling. Wrestling? Yeah, I'm here for the wrestling. Okay. Okay then. So very inspired to see what if I could make a story compelling and connect it to Alpha Red. So yeah, and I partnered with. We have a local wrestling company. Excuse me. And so I reached out to them, and so they will have some wrestlers in my comic. So it's all very much their wrestlers, because I did want to cross promote, especially locally here. Especially locally. Wanted to see if we can work together more as and they build themselves as a family-friendly alternative to all the stuff out there. They're, no swearing, no cursing. So not Christian, but and I was very upfront that Alpha Red has Christian themes, and they didn't seem to flinch. So, and they didn't tell me what I could or could not write. I think they're all just they're younger guys for sure. All these wrestlers are in their late 20s, early 30s maybe. And so they're all into comics. They want to be drawn as comics. I'll draw like a poster or like a pinup for each one of them that they can hopefully use to sell their sell t-shirts or whatever. And I'll have variant covers. That's actually the main thing that I was trying to pitch to them, that they could have variant covers of their own that they could sell. Same comic inside, obviously, same Alpha Red comic inside, but they could each have their own variant cover that I'll draw for them. All right. Where's this? Where is? I think I forgot about the bandana here. Just keep it swinging down there. Kabamski. We got it. Kabamski. I think maybe the Kabamskis come when I solve a problem in my mind. Like, zoinks. This could be bad for a Benny commission. So, all right, that's the raft picture. Let's see if I can take a picture as we go. Maybe that'd be fun. That'd be fun. Kabamski. And all right, gotta make the turtle head look absolutely on point. Otherwise, it might not be worth looking at. So the bandana, mask, I guess they're called masks. So are you guys picking up the Transformers? What do you think of the new Robert Kirkman Transformers as opposed to the Daniel Warren Johnson Transformers? I think Robert Kirkman has more of the feel of the 80s cartoon than Daniel Warren Johnson as far as the dialogue and stuff. Soundwave sounded just like Soundwave, whereas when Daniel Warren Johnson was writing Soundwave, he just sounded like any other transformer. He was able to talk in full sentences, where as in the cartoon, he talked very much in broken sentences. Betty says, I'm digging Kirkman on Transformers. I'm hoping to pick up number 26 at my local comic shop tomorrow. Yes, sir. It was very good. And like I said, it is like, there's so much comic in it. I don't know if it's just me or what, but like it just kept going. I was like, ooh, it wasn't stopping. It's like, I don't mind that at all. Don't mind if I do. Don't mind if I do. No, he has a good command of the voices of the characters. And I don't know much about the Starscream kind of clone Decepticons, but they play a big role in the storyline. And so I don't know if they have a voice that I can picture in my head. So I'm fine with how he was voicing them. I think that's one of my weaknesses as a creator. I don't think too much about like the cadence of my characters' dialogue. It's all kind of people I know, but like it's pretty much my voice, I want to say. So I have to be conscientious of that going into issue number 8. And I'm learning with every comic what is important for readers, what readers notice, and they notice stuff like that, like the voice of the character. Like that person wouldn't say that, you know. And there are certain ways that you do like an accent or something like that. You just can't assume that people are saying the accent in their head. You know, if you're doing a rogue or a gambit or something like that, you can't just write it down like they're speaking without an accent. Let's do a roller. I don't want a super long one. Got a bunch of long rulers down here. Let's do, his hand is right there. Right there. And so I just don't want to go through where I want his hand to end. I want the bow to end. But I appreciate you getting these commissions, Benny, because I love me some turtles. I love drawing turtles. I actually I'm trying to think through like a fan fiction Alpha Red Ninja Turtle story. My daughter works at a print shop, and she was actually part of printing out Alpha Red #7, which is so, I don't even know how to explain it. Like when the people that you love have a part of the thing that you love, it's just like this next level kind of like awesomeness that you can't describe. But she works at this print shop, and let me see where it is. And so she has like blank paper. Like sometimes they have to see if things fit together, how they fit together, and they have just like blank paper sitting around. And so she made for me just like comic book sized blank paper things. So let me grab it real quick. I'll show you. Well, these are the bigger size. Well, I have the Spider-Man right next to me. But like, so she brought home today she asked me how big comic book sizes are. And so she cut it down to regular comic book size. So it's going to be like this. So I thought if I could just come up with a random story, I could just have a little fun doing like a drawing like this, you know, Alpha Red meeting the Ninja Turtles. Something fun like that. Just for myself that I can maybe scan in and share with people, but like have the original for myself. So yeah, I think part of what I like about Neil Adams' hands are not just the knuckles, but like the finger placement. Like there's like a shape to the hands, like when he does it, and they're so dynamic. Like the fist is coming right at you, kind of stuff. But like the shape, the naturalness of the shape of the hand was what I was noticing. It's hard to describe without. It's hard to describe to someone who hasn't tried to draw hands before, and how hard it is to capture the realness of hands, because part of it is like the overall shape that the hand creates, and it is not square. It is not some kind of rectangle, even though that's probably the easiest shorthand to use to construct a drawing of the hand. But yeah, the naturalness of how Neil Adams does the hands, super impressive. So maybe I will just finish up Donatello here. I'm gonna say that, and then I'm just gonna not be able to control myself, and I'm gonna have to finish up Leonardo because there's so little of him. But the goal here is to maybe wrap it up after I finish Donatello. And maybe turn on the camera tomorrow. And if I don't have time, I will simply post the finished picture. So notice I'm still using this smaller size tip. It's so that I can get more of the little textures in. You can always go bigger. You can't always go smaller. So start small. It's more time consuming for sure. But you can get more textures, more nuanced grays in there. And that just gives, like, you can put like little nicks here and there to show that they've kind of been cut. But if you use the big thick one, that's what I'll do. I'll go back and really commit to these, the darker lines for Raphael and Donatello. In that way I can feel good. I feel good about just having them two done. And if I am not asked to do a project tomorrow, actually, I know that there's a project. Darn it. But it does not have to be as big and involved. Oh, no, I'm meeting somebody for lunch. A guy from church asked to meet. So we shall see. He's a talker. Good stuff, but it might be a long lunch. But yeah, oh man, so fun. Although trying to figure out like lighting sources and stuff. That was one of the cool things to hear Joe Madureira talk about. He misses the storytelling aspect of the comic book process. I guess he doesn't even draw as much anymore in his role at the gaming company. He's just kind of an art director, so he doesn't do much of the actual drawing himself. He might throw down some lines to kind of correct some guys where the vision of the game is going, but he says he misses choosing the angles, choosing the shots. He said he really maybe missed his calling, possibly being like a storyboard artist for movies or something, just because he really enjoys choosing which shots are what. All right, not so bad. All right, we're moments away from some Kabamskis. For show. Big long strokes like this really kind of make it it tells the viewer that you have confidence in your lines. So some people don't even know why they are throwing down the line that they are throwing down. As Joe Madureira admitted early on in his drawing, he was just really copying what he saw John Byrne, how John Byrne drew a muscle or a pose, but he had no understanding of anatomy underneath and why those light sources were drawn the way that they were. So Alrighty. All right, now we go in. And Kabamski the rest of the thing. The Kabamski will be like icing. The icing on the cake here. You want to separate the arm away from the body. You want to keep all those little texture muscles and stuff in here. You want to add some contrast. Doesn't hurt to add a little bit of contrast to all those lines, all those like rendering lines, but just like that. Just like so. And I know that people like Joe Matter does like the knots like in people's belts, in Garrison's belt, and whoever else. I guess like the Asian martial arts belt knot. And he does them so well. I'm just like, man, it looks like it can fold up, and that's where I just copy him. And a little triangle here, a little triangle there, and Kabamski. And I hope nobody looks too close. Hoping they don't look so close. And that's really all the process that I'm in here, is just kind of making sure that your eye can more easily separate the different parts of the anatomy. The head is disconnected from the breastplate shell thing. The arm is disconnected from the same thing. See how it starts to come apart from all the other rendering lines. And those rendering lines kind of sink all the way back and just become the thing that helps you define the form a little bit. Helps you define the form a little bit. And then maybe I even go back later and kind of sink a lot of this stuff back by adding more ink. So you push it all the way. You make the rendering just that much darker. And then that should kind of push his arm back here, farther back, so you're not just relying on that bolder line up front here. Kabamski. There it is. For the maybe the size. Get the size. Starting to hold my breath again. Maybe it has something to do with the inks, huh? Less energy when I'm trying to do the size. All right. That's Mr. Raphael. And then we'll just finish up. Hopefully take 5 minutes here to finish up Mr. Donatello. I'm going to leave that kind of, this line right here, kind of singular so that it looks like the light source is coming from the top there a little bit. Do that little belt knot thing, but not do the belt knot thing. That confident line. Try to sell that like I know what I'm doing. And you bring it down, bring it down. So it starts popping out a little bit. Put this a little bit darker so that it looks like he's like that sinks in a little bit. Remember, contrast happens in the world more than you realize. We just contrast that up right there. Get some texture going. And forget to put in his thumb. But we'll put it in there. We'll sneak it in there. Benny won't notice. He won't notice that it wasn't there before. That's part of the shell there. Make sure the shell's got a little texture to it. Then we'll do the front of the shell. We'll just keep it like that. Maybe we'll give it some rendering lines down here to hopefully sink it to the back just a little bit so that the leg can pop out a little bit more. We're going back in for some contrast ink. All right, guys, we are coming to the end of part 1 with a question mark on whether or not part 2 will be on camera or not on a live stream. This was part 1 of TMNT X Godzilla. So we're just gonna finish up putting that bold line around there. And then I'm just gonna, by hand, hold my breath. Kabamski. That's just to sell that it's the light is on the bottom of that. All right, guys. Well, I appreciate you hanging out with me on a Friday evening. Last thing J. Scott says, I know exactly what you mean. Even fine artists like talk about Neil's handwork. It's actually how I heard about it. That's awesome. Like I don't do that enough. Listen to fine art people. Sometimes they get a little too hoity-toity, but there's a lot of Instagram channels, Instagram, Facebook. They have these channels that show them doing their craft, and it's amazing. Some of these guys are absolutely amazing. Looks almost photorealistic. If you're into that, and some of them are stylized enough, I don't know, super awesome. We live in an awesome time where we can watch people draw, and watch it real time or watch it sped up. I am going to start doing more sped up versions of the drawings because I found out that my computer has the ability to edit some stuff. So I'm going to edit some stuff, pop it on there, maybe just kind of talk it through more quickly and have like a 5 or 6 minute video about the drawing itself and what I'm thinking. But guys, thank you for hanging out. Don't forget to spread the word about Alpha Red Volume 1 starting on Monday, November 17th at noon. Got 36 hours to save $5 on the trade paperback. So spread the word, guys. Thank you for hanging out on a Friday. Have a great weekend. Until next time, grace and peace. We are out.
From the shadows he rises with courage in his heart, a beacon of hope. He's ready to start with faith as his armor and a fire in his soul. Alpha Red stands tall, fulfilling his role. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Red. In a world full of chaos, where evil may lurk, he fights for the righteous, his mission and work. Guided by God, with strength from above, he battles the darkness with unyielding love. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. Alpha Red. When the night seems too long and hope seems so far, look to the skies, we'll see his bright star. With a prayer and a promise, he faces the fight. Alpha Red shines through, the beacon of light. Alpha Red, the hero we need. With the power of faith, he'll always succeed. Fighting darkness, he'll never dread. For the world is safe with Alpha Red. So stand tall with courage, let your faith lead the way. With Alpha Red beside us, we'll see a brighter day. For evil may tremble, but never forget, the world is protected by our hero, Alpha Red. Alpha Red. Alpha Red.